Hi guys, I know that there was a lot of confusion with Palworld Save Tools, how to use the tool, and some questions that were being asked, so I figured a video would probably be the quickest way for me to help you guys. In the description down below, I'm going to link the Palworld Save Tools GitHub, but if you already have the tool installed on your PC and you're finding that the changes aren't being saved in your game, a common issue that I see for that is that the Palworld Save Tools isn't currently updated, so if you open up the tool and you see like a flashing light here, that means that there is an update available, so you'll want to click on that flashing light and it'll take you to the next update. The only thing that sucks is that if there's been like 2 updates since the last time you opened up the tool, whenever you click on the link, it's going to take you to the next update and not the most recent update, so just be on the lookout for that. But once you go to the Palworld Save Tools GitHub, you'll scroll down, and then based on whatever operating system you're using, you'll just download that version. So for me, I'm on Windows. I'm going to download the windows.exe. If you're on Linux, you're going to download the Linux. If you're on Mac, you're going to download the Mac. Once that is installed, you're going to see something like this. On the left-hand side, I have the base that I'm wanting to import. So this is just a base that's available on My Coffee. It's free to everybody. So if you go to My Coffee and you want to download one of the bases there, it's going to come with a PST file, and then it's going to come with 2 README. So one is for if you're on a server and one is for if you're just playing the game by yourself. A couple of things that I do get asked a lot is, one, does this work with Game Pass? Yes, it works with Game Pass. You can see here in the tool, I have the option for Steam and I have the option for Game Pass. Game Pass is pretty simple. You just click on it, it locates everything for you. There's nothing really extra that you have to do. You'll just see that option there. Another question that I get asked a lot is, does this work if I am using a dedicated server? Yes. The number one thing that I can recommend for you guys is please make a backup. That just helps you in case anything goes wrong or you need to revert any changes. Make a backup folder of your world, whether you're on a dedicated server or if you're just playing the game through single player. Please make a backup. If you are on a dedicated server, you'll want to stop the server, download your files, and then save any changes and then re-upload those files into your dedicated server. Then you'll just save any changes. Another question I get asked a lot is, well, if I'm playing on Xbox and my friend is on PC and they make any changes, can that work? And yes, the answer is this doesn't work for console. If you are on a Xbox or a PS5, because you don't have access to the files itself, you can't really change them. So that won't work for you. But if your friend is on a dedicated server, if you have access to a dedicated server and you have a friend that's on PC and you're on console, your friend that's on PC can do this for you. Just give them administrative access and whatever host that you're using. They can save the changes, you'll load into the world, it'll work, whatever. So once you have Palworld Save Tools open, you're just going to click on whatever you have the game through. Mine is through Game Pass. I'm going to click Game Pass. A list of my worlds is going to come up here. This is my streaming world. This is the world that I use just to test that the bases that I'm importing and exporting work. And then this is just a save that I have with my old friend. So because I already have this base in these 2 worlds, I'm just going to open up my old world with my friend. Once I click OK, you're going to see here that some information populates. So you're going to see 5 players, 1 build, 2 bases, 236 pals, right? So this is just going to correlate with whatever you have in your own world. On the left-hand side, you're going to see map viewer. If I open that up, I can see the bases that I have in this world. So if I hover over this one, you can see I have base ID FD84. If I hover over this one, it's base ID F49. Right, so let's go to the left-hand side and let's go to search bases. And you can do this on map viewer as well. I just think search bases is easier. But if I go to search bases, you're going to see those base IDs right here. So this is just telling me what base is which. If I right click, I'm going to see a couple of different options. We're going to go down to import base. And then from import base, I'm just going to locate the file that I'm trying to import. So this again is my beach house base. It's available on My Coffee, free to everybody. But if I click on open, successfully imported 1 base. So it's that easy. It's not hard at all. It's very simple. From there, if you're just trying to import the base, you would just click save changes. An important thing to note is if you are on Xbox Game Pass, it's going to briefly block your connection so that it is able to save those changes. I believe that there's some stuff with Xbox and it's syncing to the cloud, so I think it blocks your internet connection to temporarily disable you from syncing to the cloud. You're going to see that you're no longer connected to the internet. When you click save changes, there will be a pop-up instructing you on what you need to do afterwards. Typically, it's just you need to launch Palworld, click play offline. As soon as you click play offline, you can go back to Palworld Save Tools and you'll see an option to restore. It'll say like, okay, I'm ready, or like, okay, restore internet. You'll just click that and then it'll connect you to, it'll reestablish your internet connection. So if you click save and you're on Xbox Game Pass and you notice your internet connection went out on your PC, don't freak out. It's only your PC that you'll briefly lose connection for. It won't happen to any of your other devices. Palworld Save Tools is a really cool tool. Another question that I get asked a lot is, can I export or can I replace my current base? So you'll see down here, these are the two bases that I already had. This is the base that I imported. If I wanted to swap bases, I would just right click, click swap base, click the base I'm wanting to swap. Bam, done. Then I can just go through and I can right click and delete base. One important thing to note if you are replacing your base is whatever base you are trying to import, it's going to stay at the terrain that it was built for. So the elevation, excuse me, the elevation and the terrain. So if I built a base up here, this is obviously a lot higher of an elevation than it would be down here. So if I replaced this base with something that was built up here, there's a good chance that the base here is going to be floating, or some of the items are still going to be stuck in the ground. So what you'll want to do for that, it's a really tedious process and it's kind of a pain in the ass. The easiest thing would be to just keep the base at wherever it was supposed to be at. But like if you want to adjust your base or you want to replace your base, you'll just right click and then you'll see nudge base. If you click on that, it'll give you the option to change the coordinates here. You'll see what the current coordinates are. What might be useful, I haven't personally tried this yet, but what might be useful is if you click nudge base and you see the current coordinates, if you replace that, just keep this in mind and you might be able to like input these into this and get it to work that way. I haven't personally tried it yet, so I'm not 100% if that works. It just might be an easier way for you guys to try it, but you can do it like that. Another question that I get asked a lot is, how do I export my base? Really, really, really simple. It's the same process, except you're going to click export instead of import. So if you want to upload your own bases to Coffee or MapPal or wherever you're trying to export your base into, you'll just click export base and it'll save it as a PST file for you to export it. You can name it whatever, as long as you don't get rid of the .pst base, you'll be fine. That's how you would import that base. And then Palworld Save Tools, you can do a lot with Palworld Save Tools. As I mentioned, I have a world that is specifically for streaming, so I was playing on a dedicated server. When I decided that I wanted to make a world specifically for me streaming, I didn't want to have to go through the process, because that streaming world, I'm just making builds. I didn't want to have to go through the process of leveling up again and having to unlock all the technologies and all that. So Palworld Save Tools, you can do a lot of different things with. If I go to, let me go back and go to my streaming world. Okay, so with my streaming world, I can go to, let's say, I wanted to, you can see right here. So this is my guild, right? I would select my guild. And then if I click right here, I'm going to see all the different bases that I have. So if I wanted to go to base inventory and I wanted to give, my Japanese style chest some items, I could right click and I could search through any item in the game and give myself that item. So let's say if I wanted to give myself 100 AI cores, I would just click AI core, I would click the quantity, and I would click add, and then that would get added. The important thing to note with this is like the Japanese style chest, the slots that are available for it are 10, right? And obviously you're seeing a lot more options here than 10. If you go outside of the 10 options, it's no longer going to add for that storage. So you'll want to keep that in mind when you're adding items. That was something that I wasn't really paying attention to when I first started using Palworld Save Tools, and I spent a lot of time adding items and then realizing that they weren't actually getting put into the game. So just keep that in mind whenever you're adding items. Another thing that you can use Palworld Save Tools is your player inventory. So if I just go to select player, my inventory will load here, so I can do that here as well. I can give myself whatever item that I want. Another important thing to note with Palworld Save Tools is like I can give myself, if I wanted to give myself 1,000,000, I could do that. And when I open up the game, this will work and this will be in my pockets. The only thing with this is like, let's say, I don't know what the cap for AI core is in a stack, but let's say it was 100. If I wanted to remove this from my pockets because I'm over that 100 limit, it's not going to move. You, of course, can just reopen Palworld Save Tools and you can edit quantity or you can delete it. But that can sometimes be really tedious. So just keep that in mind whenever you're adding items. But I can also go to the right hand side. I can give myself weapons, accessories, food, whatever it is. And with like the items for like head, I can click add item and only the head items will appear. Again, let's say, this is a world where I want to level up. I don't want to actually play the game. I just want to be able to give myself everything. I can go to key items. I can max out all of my abilities. I can give myself all the key items. I can go to my stats and at my stats. I can go to technology, and you can see here that I've already done this because this is a world where I'm just building. I gave myself all of the technology unlocks. I did this for my world so that I would have like pals that were able to help me build quicker. So I can go to my Cora, for example, and I can give her any passive skill that I want. I can upgrade her planting level or her seeding level to 10. I can make her like a 4-star pal if I wanted to. I can increase any of her stats here. I can also give myself pals. So if I right click and I click add new pal, you'll see all the pals here. So if there's a pal that you want, you can go ahead and add that pal to your base. Another thing that Palworld Save Tools is really good for is like for me on my dedicated server, I had a lot of friends who I was still playing the game and there was like certain friends that would join the server and then they wouldn't play for like a month or two. Palworld Save Tools, if I wanted to, I could go to search players or search guild and I could remove any players there. If I removed the player itself, so let's say, I had a friend named Steve and Steve had his own guild. If I wanted to remove Steve from my world and I deleted him here, so you would be able to like go through a right click delete player, anything that Steve owns will also be deleted. So his bases, his pals, his inventory, whatever. So it's really nice if like you have a friend that hasn't played in a month and you just want to be able to, remove him from the world so that maybe somebody wants his base, where his base is. You could go through and you could remove him. I believe you can also like transfer stuff. So if Steve was no longer playing, but maybe, Victor is still playing and he's in his guild, I think you can transfer their guild to Victor and then delete Steve. So that's a really neat thing that Palworld Save Tools can do. If you guys have any additional questions, I'll try to link everything below. I'll link the GitHub. I'll link my coffee in case you want this base. But if you guys have any questions, feel free to leave any comments and I'll try to answer as fast as I can. If you need immediate help, you can comment on one of my TikToks. I tend to be on TikTok a lot more than I tend to be on anything else. So you can leave a comment for me there and I'll probably answer a lot sooner. But if you guys need any more help, let me know.